ever satisfying my soul. God's light is deep within me, ever satisfying my soul. One more time, love, last one. God's love is deep within me, ever satisfying my soul, my soul. God's love is deep within me, ever satisfying my soul, ever satisfying my soul. Thank you. Yes. Mercy me. Okay, I can come off.
Be back at Unity. I'm excited. Whoa. So when you hear the word karma, what do you think?
Better be good.
It better be good?
Cause and effect. It'll come back.
What goes around comes around.
What goes around comes around. Yeah, yeah. I mean, we all have sort of an idea of karma. And I think sort of culturally we have a sense that it's not a great thing, right? Like, you know, like your karma is attached to you somehow and you're dragging it around like the big black bag. Well, it was such a fun thing for me when I was in India, and I think this was about 2014. We had a whole class on karma, and I actually used to teach classes on karma. And they explained to us in the Hindu tradition that there's two different kinds of karma. There's what's called sat karma, which is like beneficial karma, wonderful karma, sat karma. And there's dush karma, not so great karma. Not so good. Your dush karma, not so good. And we have like a karma bank, you know, like we got this much sat karma and we got some of this dush karma over here. And you know, you have to be aware, you probably have a little dush, right? Because you might have, you know, it's the consequences of not only your actions. I mean, literally karma means action. Karma means action. But we're not just talking about this kind of physical action, are we? We're talking about the action that happens when we speak, and also the inner actions that happen in consciousness. So sometimes we might have thoughts that give us a little dush karma. Yeah. We might be thinking not so well about another person, and that might give us a little dush karma. We might be having very positive thoughts, like, I think this room has got like massive sat karma today, and we're all taking it in because that's part of what happens to us. And it's really interesting, in India they talk about there are 5 different kinds of karma that come to us. And they don't just come to us in this lifetime, they come to us in all the lifetimes we've experienced as individuals. So we have an individual karma that's the consequences of what we've done, spoken, and even thought in this lifetime, and also in the past lifetimes that we've lived. And if you think Unity doesn't believe in past lifetimes, I'll get you some information that will prove to you that's not true. So we have individual karma, then we have our family karma. And when I was in India, I was very shocked about this because they said it's not just the family that you were born into. If you marry someone, you are engaging in the karma of that particular family as well. And for those of us who've had a few marriages that maybe didn't work out, well, I was really shocked. And I'll just tell you this little tiny story about that because my first husband's father had committed suicide. And I never knew the man at all. And one of the things that the teachers in India said to me, I said, well, what can I do? I mean, this karma is flowing down. I'm not married to this man anymore. In fact, he wasn't even alive anymore. He had passed away. My ex-husband had passed away. And what they said was, pray for the overcoming of the father who committed suicide. Just pray for his soul. I'm like, I can do that. Well, the interesting thing was, my ex-husband he did not commit suicide, but he died very, very suddenly. His brother died very, very suddenly. His third wife tried to commit suicide, and their daughter tried to commit suicide. I was like, this is not just like coincidental. There was something energetically around it, and of course I wanted to be really, really mindful of just my kind of my role in the path of that energy. And just be praying for all these people, even people that I did not know. So family karma that we carry, this energy that we carry, is not just our own, not just our past life, but it's the people that we've really closely engaged to in our life. So just having that awareness, not in a scary kind of way, but just having that awareness. We also get the karma of the country we were born in. And we get the karma of the society that we live in, which is about the culture that we're in, which for many of us right now is kind of scary to think about, the culture that we're in, because there's so much division, so much conflict going on. Whether we're participating in it because of our own individual actions or words or inner thoughts, we're still in the midst of that energetic conflict in our country. And then there's humanity's karma, which is a 26,000-year cycle of energy that flows through humanity. So there are massive different influences that in the Hindu tradition affect the karma that that each individual has. And it's very interesting to understand how in that tradition one can basically build up your sat karma, build up your beneficial, your positive karma, certainly by being a good person, by doing good works. One of the things that my teacher said, which I was kind of shocked by, was if you have the capacity and the awareness and the ability to help someone and you don't help them, you get dush karma for not helping. Interesting. Also, if you know that you need help and there's somebody that you know who could help you and you don't ask for that help, dush karma. Interesting dynamic, isn't it? Just the awareness of the inner connection that we have and that we are living in this matrix of collective consciousness. So I thought that was a very interesting awareness, to be more willing to ask for support when you know it's available to you. I think it's hard for some of us to do that, isn't it? So in the Hindu tradition, which is not the only tradition that has karma, but and I'll just mention a few of the other ones in a second, but in the Hindu tradition, one of the things that they talk about is moksha. And moksha is what happens when an individual essentially breaks this karmic bond of birth, of the cycle of birth and death and rebirth again, which is part of what the karmic cycle is. We have an experience in this lifetime. We do the things that our soul is called to do in order to balance the scales of karma. That's how the Hindus would look at it. And if we don't get the balance right, we get to come back again, try it again. In another form, perhaps, with a different family, with a different situation. And, people talk about that a lot, don't they? We're here to learn a certain lesson. We're here to bring forth our divine connection to all life and to begin to understand who we are in that matrix of the divine connection, the holiness of that universal intelligence and universal life. So in Hinduism, when somebody gets moksha and they've broken this particular bond of karma, they don't have to come back. They can come back if they want. They say, oh, this could be really fun. I think I'll go back again. But it's not. They no longer have these lessons to learn about who they are as divine beings. And it's very interesting. I was looking a little bit more deeply into what this kind of the language of what this is. And it turns out that the whole understanding of moksha involves something called kripa. And Kripa basically is the same thing as our understanding of grace. Kripa is when in your consciousness you have literally become one with the presence of the divine. You're in that field of total connection with the divine. And when we go into that connection of oneness with the divine, when this experience of Kripa happens for us, we've cut all the bonds of any karma of all those 5 levels. And again, we can be in heaven or moksha. Moksha is basically the equivalent of heaven. And I was so happy because we didn't pick this song today. We picked I'm Choosing Heaven a couple of weeks ago. And I thought, this is exactly what we're talking about here when we're talking about the experience of karma, karma and moksha, and karma and grace. And I want to link it a little bit more. First, I want to just mention a few other spiritual traditions that talk about karma, and then bring it up to the level of our unity consciousness, because I really don't think there's much of a difference. So the Buddhist understanding of karma is a little bit different from the Hindu, because they talk about the actions. It's about emphasizing mindfulness and compassion, so that we move into more and more of this, what we would call positive karma or wholesome karma. And that's what leads to the liberation or this freedom from any suffering, because Buddhism is all about freedom from the suffering. So it's a little bit different than the Hindu understanding. They don't talk about moksha. The other tradition that I think is really interesting to look at is the Taoist tradition. Because the Tao is talking about always this flow of energy, and they're always talking about, again, a balance of the flow of energy. In a sense, the karma bank, the dush karma and the sat karma, that we eventually hopefully come to a place of balance in, is the same idea that the Tao talks about in the balance of our actions that harmonize with all life. So it's a different take on this whole idea of the consequences of action or word or thought, but it's still about being in the flow and being in the connection of all life. So if we look at karma from these different traditions, it's one way of looking at how in our very, very mundane, daily, everyday life, with taking action, speaking words, and thinking thoughts, has an outpicturing in the world. What does unity say about this? What's the third principle of unity? The law of mind action. Thoughts in mind create after their kind. It's the exact same thing. It's what goes around comes around. I think you said that. Or what we plant and what the seeds, she said it. We'll give her credit. You get extra credit, Leanna, for that. I don't think you need to be a practitioner to know that one, though. Yes. So, but the whole idea that unity is teaching us is this understanding that whatever we're carrying in our consciousness, which then becomes a thought, we're carrying it in consciousness, maybe in the realm of our feeling nature. We have an upset with somebody, it carries up into a thought perhaps of judgment, and then how do we act on that or not? What do we speak about it? Do we tell somebody else about how terrible this person was? Or do we get angry and blow our top? It all starts in this level of consciousness. And that's what unity is teaching us all the time. It's unity's basic message of how we can be more responsible as human beings, carrying the spiritual experience that our divine nature, the spiritual experience being the most important part of who we are. And that this awareness of unity's teaching on the law of mind action is how we ultimately move into a higher level of consciousness, and how we, just like in the tradition of Hinduism, where the kripa brings moksha, we come to a place where we really know we believe, we understand, and we fully experience that we are one with the divine presence. There's one presence and one power active in my life and in the universe. And the tools that unity gives us are this incredible awareness of the law of mind action. How do I become more aware of not only the actions? It's kind of easy to be aware of your actions if you just contemplate a little bit. But how do I become more aware not only of my actions, but the perpetual thoughts, habitual, perpetual thoughts I'm thinking, and where they're sourced in some belief system in consciousness? It's a powerful, powerful message that we're given. It's very, very practical. And the blessing of all this is we can understand the system of karma that is coming through all these ancient spiritual traditions, because unity is not very ancient. It's going to be 125 years old. But it's rooted in all these other deep and powerful spiritual awarenesses and spiritual traditions. And the thing that's so beautiful about unity is we take this law of mind action, we take these principles that there's one presence and one power, and that presence lives and moves and has its being as each one of us, as individuals. We take this and we begin to also understand that it's not by our actions alone that we move into this place of oneness with the divine presence. That there is ever present in our life the quality of grace, this quality of the loving presence of the divine. The grace is ever, ever available to us. And the thing about it is, it's not something that we can go grab. It's something that we need to open ourselves and literally surrender. Today's daily word was surrender. And I thought, this is part of the teaching that we've been given, the teachings of Jesus. You know, the teachings of Jesus. If we look at the Old Testament, there's a lot of eye for an eye, isn't there? There's a lot of punishment and a lot of vengeance in the Old Testament. But we come to the New Testament and the teachings of Jesus, which is essentially the basic teaching that unity is offering to us. And the teachings of Jesus are about love. The teachings are about forgiveness, being fully present in the moment to the oneness that we all are, and letting go of those feelings of separation, of judgment, of discontent, and moving into this place of divine connection. And even if, and what we're being given by the presence and power and the teachings of Jesus is even some stories that, you know, I think we all kind of have in the back of our mind. Think about the story of the prodigal son. Spent all his dad's money, went off to the far country, riotous living, you know, sex, drugs, and rock and roll, ended up eating with the pigs. And then what happened? Does anybody remember what it says in the Bible? He came to himself. He came to himself. What does that mean? It means all of a sudden there's an awareness of the truth of who he was. Like we have that in our life. That's that grace that's always available, that loving presence, the divine presence reminding us of the truth of who we are as these just incredible spiritual beings, capable in every moment of bringing forth the highest and the best of who we are. And so what did he do? He came to himself and he turned and went back to the Father, reconnecting with the divine presence, the holy presence, and everything was given to him at that time. We have this story in our life so many times, don't we? When we find ourselves, you know, we're not eating with the pigs, but we find ourselves, you know, complaining or having, well, maybe so. Alan, I don't know about you two. This front row, they give me a lot of feedback here. So. But you know, you find yourself doing something and all of a sudden you're like, oh, what was that? Why was I so upset about that? Or why did I get in an argument with that? And we have to, once again, remember the grace of God, the grace and the presence and the powerful oneness that is our divine nature. And I feel like just as, we can see karma as a law, the law of karma, this balancing act, and we can see the law of mind action as a law, we have also a law of consciousness that reminds us that whatever we're carrying in our hearts and minds has a balancing to either bring a divine order, great relationships, abundance, divine creative ideas, or our consciousness can turn us out into a place of chaos, disconnection, disorder. And when we have that awareness of what's going on moment to moment, and we literally can take responsibility for that inner state that's happening for us, that's when we're like the prodigal. We're able to come to ourselves and remember the truth and that ever-present quality of grace that is always available. We come to ourselves and things shift and change. So it's such a beautiful thing to begin to understand both these things are true, that we can go into a place of disconnection, we can, go to the far country, whatever the far country might be for you. Clearly it feels like a lot of people in our world right now are in the far country for some of us. And maybe those who are in the far country think we're in the far country. I mean, we have to be aware that's true, right? We have different understandings about the way the world works and who we are and how other people are connected to us. But we can all understand this quality of grace that is literally like a spiritual law, a law of love, a law that brings us together, that connects us and binds us, a law of forgiveness, the forgiveness that Jesus brought. Think about some of those other stories in the Bible. The woman at the well. I mean, she'd had a lot of husbands. People weren't forgiving her. Jesus is talking to people like this. So many times we are aware that in the stories in the Bible, Jesus is off there talking to the people that nobody else would talk to. They were the outcasts. They were, it's like Nicodemus, who was like a crooked tax collector. Jesus went and had food with this guy. I mean, the priests and the Sadducees and the people in the temple they would have nothing to do with these people. But this is the quality, again, we're being shown this metaphysically. We're being shown the truth of the presence and power of love, of forgiveness, of transformation, because really that's what it's all about, isn't it? It's about transformation. And it's an inner job for all of us. So I love that we have an opportunity just to be together today and to be reminded, yes, there is this quality of karma, the law of mind action, the things that we feel inside, think about, actions and words we take do have consequences. And so important for us to be mindful, to really stop in our daily life and take stock of the consequences of the things that we've been saying and doing. And then to trust and know that the presence of the divine, as we surrender to that presence, the grace of the divine is there to lift us up out of any sense of regret, any sense of shame, to allow us to not only forgive ourselves, as we may also need to forgive other people. That power is always there with and for us. So now we're going to do a meditation. I'm going to invite our ushers to turn the lights off and not to turn them back on until I kind of wave magically at you. And I'm going to have Sahar and Karen come up. We're going to be singing this really beautiful song called By Thy Grace. It was written by Snatam Kaur, and I think Karen's going to let you know when there's a time you might want to sing. But we're just going to begin, invite you to close your eyes. And just take a couple nice deep and conscious breaths, just releasing your energy. Relaxing in the body, feeling supported by the chair. Take a deep breath into peace, feeling the peace and presence in this moment. Feeling the divine connection, the joy that is in this room, the sense of heaven in this moment, right here and right now. And no matter what's been going on in your life, maybe things that have happened either for you or through you that have caused you a sense of feeling disconnected, feeling as if you're out in the far country for some reason. Allow yourself to open up to the grace and the presence of the divine. Feel it as if it's a warm sun bathing you with a beautiful radiant light and heat as we now move into this beautiful, beautiful awareness of the grace and the power, the grace of God in our lives.
It's by thy grace that I sing. It's by thy grace that I sing. It's by thy grace that I sing your holy name. It's by thy grace that I sing. It's by thy grace that I sing. It's by thy grace that I sing your holy name. Yeah, 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 your holy name. It's by thy grace that I feel. It's by thy grace that we feel. It's by thy grace that we feel your holy name. Someday the day shall come when all the glory shall be mine. People will say it is yours, and I shall deny. Nama. Sing with me. By thy grace. It's by thy grace that I sing. By thy yes, that I sing. It's by thy grace that I sing your holy name. Jesus. It's by thy grace that I feel, that we feel, by thy grace that we feel. Thank you. By thy grace that we feel your holy name. Yeah. Someday the day shall come when all the glory shall be mine. People will say it is yours, but I shall deny. Nama. Rest. Rest in me. Allah, Jehovah, Rama, Satanama. Allah, Jehovah, Jesus, Satanama. Allah, Jehovah, Rama, Satanama. Hare Rama, Hare Rama. Allah, Jehovah, Rama, Satanama. Peace to all, life to all, love to all, your holy name, your holy name, yeah. Peace to all, life to all, love to all, amor, amore, ashe. Peace to all, life to all, love to all, your holy name, your name will carry us. Peace to all, your name will carry us. Your name is carrying us all the way home. Namaste, namaste, namaste. Your name will carry us. Peace to all, life to all, love to all. Oh, this day, your holy name. Remember me, remember me. Peace to all, life to all, love to all. Your holy name, your holy name, your holy name. shall come when all the glory shall be mine. People will say it is yours, and I shall deny. Nama. Om Shanti. Om Namaste. Namaste. Om. This is your way. Yea. This is your grace.
So offering gratitude to the blessings, to the grace and the power of the divine moving in and through this place, through this music, through these songs, these words, and through our lives. We say thank you, God. And bringing our awareness back into the body, ever so gently become aware of your body, taking in a few deep and conscious breaths, and as you feel ready, you can gently open your eyes. Come back to this space, this room, this grace, together, one heart.
Thank you so much for the beautiful music and words and just the whole beautiful chant. It was great. I really appreciated it. Thank you. So now, everybody, we have the glorious time to show our faith in Source, God, and Spirit as we joyously give our financial gifts to do the work that this community is called to do and to cover our expenses. We open our hearts and hands to demonstrate the abundance of Spirit. We know that as we give, we also receive, and we cannot outgive God. This is our walk of faith. So together we're gonna, let's hold our love offering in our hands and bless it with our love. Together, divine love through me blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive, and I am grateful.
Time.
Is that where you want it?
To my grandma. Both of them. I come to the garden alone while the dew is still on the roses, and the voice I hear falling on my ear, the Son of God discloses. Sing with me. And he walks with me, and he talks with me, and he tells me I am his own, and the love we share as we tarry there, none other has ever known. She speaks, and the sound of her voice is so sweet. The birds hush their singing, and the melody she gave to me within my heart is ringing. Oh yeah, 'cause God walks with me, and he talks with me, and he tells me I am his own, and the joy we share as we tarry there, none other shall ever know. Let us walk with God, let us talk with God, and God tells me I am his own, and the joy that we share as we tarry there, none other shall ever know. None other shall ever know. None other shall